The Hario Switch. It's a beautiful brewer, and I've always wanted one since the moment it came out. The first one were all made of glass, and you had to ship it from Japan, and the cost was a little bit more. And at that time, I had a few other brewers to occupy my time, so I didn't buy it. And then came the ceramic one, which was even more beautiful, and it was still not easily available though. And now finally it is much more available, and I got this one recently as a new year gift to myself. I got this from Red Bear Coffee, and this colorway is called Honey, I believe. I wanted to get the white and the black contrast like a panda color one, but I thought this one would match my guy one, which is in the background. Comment below, let me know if you think I made the right choice or not. If you know Switch, then it works with this ball which is inside. When you raise the lever, it blocks the flow, and when you lower the lever, the water is released from the brewer. So it's a mix of both percolation as well as immersion brewing, and you can do hybrid brews as well. And that's the most important thing which drew me to this brewer. Let's start off with some simple brews. The first one I have directly translated from my Clever Dripper recipe. If you haven't seen the video, I made a video about the Clever Brewer. I'll link it up here in the corner. So this is 15 grams of coffee and 250 grams of water. Here I'm going to use 96 degrees. This is like a medium light roasted coffee. I'm grinding it to a medium fine grind like I'm normally using for like a pour over, maybe even a little bit coarser because this is a complete immersion recipe. This brewer, like any other ceramic brewer, does need to be warmed up before starting your brew, especially if you are brewing lighter rows. I close the switch and rinse the paper filter and warm the brewer at the same time. Once I have discarded the warming water or the rinse water, I will first pour in 250 grams of water and then put in the 15 grams of coffee on top. I will stir the coffee just a little bit, just so that all the grounds are submerged, and start the timer. So since it is a complete immersion, you can go as long as you want, really, because the extraction will stop at some point because when it reaches equilibrium, it won't extract anymore. But since this is the first time I'm brewing in this brewer with this coffee, I'm going to go 2 minutes or somewhere nearby, 1 minute 40, and then stop the immersion and open the switch for the drawdown. Ideally, I should stir just before opening the switch, but I think I forgot here and I stirred a little bit later. That will definitely help slow down the drawdown. So this drawdown finished within 40 seconds, which I think was pretty fast. So next time I'm going to brew a little longer, maybe grind a little finer, and get a little bit of a longer drawdown. The taste was still amazing though. It could have been a little bit more. We could have gotten a little bit more body and a little bit more extraction, I believe, if I had gone a little bit finer. I like to stir my brew before I pour it out into the cup, so all the layers of coffee are homogenized here. This is another recipe. This is kind of like a hybrid recipe. So this one will have 3 pours. So I'm still doing the same 15 grams of coffee to 250 grams of water. Same 92 to 96 degrees Celsius, medium light roast coffee. And this time I have ground a little bit finer than for full immersion since this is kind of a hybrid recipe. Once again, with the switch closed, I'm going to rinse the paper and warm the brewer at the same time. I had some beautiful golden light when I was brewing. As you can tell, this scene is a little bit different. The earlier brew was the first one in the morning, and this is sometime around sunset. Once I have discarded the rinse water, I'm going to close the switch and put in the 15 grams of coffee first. I will level the coffee bed just by shaking the brewer. Let's stir the scales and pour in the first pour for the bloom, which is about 3 times the weight of the coffee, about 60 grams. And I think I'm going to bloom for about 45 seconds. You can go up to 1 minute for your bloom if you wish. Bloom is where you're going to get all the acidity, I believe, and the first pour after the bloom is where you're going to get the sweetness, and the third pour I'm going to adjust the strength of the coffee in this particular recipe. At the end of 45 seconds, I'm going to open the switch and let the water out of the brewer, and I'm going to use the same temperature of water, 92 to 96 degrees, for the second pour as well. Second pour will be about 100 grams, so total it is already 160 and 90 is left. This time I'll keep the switch open and do the second pour. The second pour should take around 40 seconds, and I will wait till the water drains down completely before I do the third pour. For the third pour, I'm going to use much less temperature of water. So I just add cold water to the kettle and bring it down to around 70 degrees. This I learned from Tetsu Kasuya's devil's recipe or hybrid recipe for Switch. I will link the video which shows this recipe up in the corner. Once the second pour has drawn away, it should be around 1 minute 40 seconds or something at this point. I'll pour rest of the water in, 90 grams. And this time I'm just going to pour in the middle with the switch closed. So this is again an immersion phase. So bloom was immersion, second pour was percolation, and third pour is again an immersion. So this will make the brew quite sweet, and it will also give you a very good body. So I think I'm going to do this part of the brew for about 1 minute to 1 minute 30 seconds, and you can adjust it based on your preferences. I'm just going to leave you with this beautiful view and the drawdown. If you have any questions or suggestions, or you want to know more about this brewer, or you want me to do some experiments, just let me know in the comments. Otherwise, thanks for watching. If you have a Switch, enjoy. If not, keep watching for other videos. Cheers.